Okay, so welcome Yoga Fam to condition. We start off with feet together, hands together, nice and tall, and then sweeping the arms up overhead, soft hands, soft fingers, before coming down. On the downward sweep, wanting to bend the knees here, so we're activating the legs, reaching nice and tall, and allowing the breath to connect if comfortable. So it's an inhalation upon the rise and an exhalation on the downward sweep, and just letting that flow. So we take that pause and then bend the elbows now out to the sides, activating the hands and giving them a little bit of a wiggle through the fingers, just to create some softness rather than tension before reactivating. Now the spiral begins. So we're going to be spiraling from side to side here in a nice smooth but swift motion. You'll notice that the feet do roll with you. We don't want them to feel stiffly connected to the ground, but nice and flexible. And just breathing steady here. Core is activated just to support you here. Nice and smooth, facial muscles relaxed. Really nice energizer for the spine as we work on that upper body strength. Then slowing it down, so we're creating more mindful movement here, really connected to the power and the energy of the upper body before taking that pause. And now releasing right arm forward and back to center, left arm forward, back to center. And then for balance, both arms forward. So we're hinging from the elbows here and back to center. Going again with the right side. Trying not to drop down through the elbows if possible. Left side flowing. Both sides. You might be starting to feel that burn now in the upper back, upper shoulders. Going right side again, nice and smooth. Breath is with you to remove that mechanical nature. Both sides, back to center, right moving, left moving, relax the jaw, both sides moving with balance. Going to extend out to the sides from here, out and in. You might again like to connect the breath here, so you might inhale upon the extension outward, exhale upon coming in. And once more, we are hinging from the elbows. The urge will be there to drop down through the arms, but try to keep the height if possible. Going now with upward rotations on the right side first, back to center and wrapping around behind you, and then swapping that to the left side. And again, attempting to do this without dropping the arms. If at any time you do need a pause or a break, or if there's any pain, you must either lower down a little smidge or feel free to come out of this, roll back through the shoulders and re-enter. And we're just working this from side to side. Nice and controlled, really aware of how both sides feel. And then balancing out through both sides, nice lift of the chin and chest, going around through the body and the arms here now, opening up to the roof or the sky and rounding into that release. Again, we might inhale on the upward lift, exhale as we come a little more downward and floating back to center. Feet are going to separate now a little wider, so hip distance or slightly wider than that. Going to add now a side bend to the right. If comfortable, your left arm is going to extend up and over here. Beautiful open stretch into that left side body. We're going to now extend over to the left side and allow the right arm to sweep up and over. Now a wonderful extension into the right side body. Back to center. Going to work that again to the other side. On each side or each repetition, you might find that you're opening just that smidge more. Balancing out now, leaning into the left, right arm reaching. So we're reaching through all the way into fingertips, back to center. And again, over now into the right side. And once more over into left side. Core is going to be switched on here, still supporting you. Beautiful. So now as you reach over, we're going to be coming forward and a slight backward bend here. We don't have to go too far or too deep into it. Working to wherever you feel comfortable. And balancing that out now to the other side. So we aim for the side bend reach first, then a little forward and backward fluid motions. Taking your time. Good, and back to center. I'm going to turn to the side here, so I'm still on my mat. Feet are still that hip distance apart, knees are going to bend. We're going to let the arms sweep forward and back here, getting some motion, and then reaching them forward as the heels come off the floor and we descend down through the tailbone. Core is activated here, so this is a modified chair position. So if lifting through the heels is a little bit too much, you can keep them planted to the floor. I like to work that sweeping motion forward as the heels lift. It sort of switches my mind on here, really helps me to stimulate that energy and intensity. And of course focus, because there's an element of balance going on here as we balance into the balls of the feet. Sweeping the arms backward and forward now, just for added measure and added intensity. Core really engaged, body and mind both working. So it's hard to think of anything else when you're trying to do this. That's already set up our mind to balance. Going to loosen up a little here, little side bends, little rocks. And then resetting our attention. So hands on the hips here, feet comfortably apart. Going to bring the body weight into right foot. And either step the left foot a little smidge behind you or extend all the way back into the air behind you. Arms then follow into that sweep, and then we can play around with the foot position. So we start off with a flexed foot, and then we have a go at pointing the toes back behind the body, flexing through again, and then pointing again if comfortable. So if balance feels unsteady, those toes can come down to the floor, or you can of course keep your foot elevated. So choose what feels right and comfortable for you. Arriving back to center and again resetting before we now shift this to the other side. So weight is coming into the left foot. Take your time as we step or reach the right foot behind the body. If coming up too high feels uncomfortable for your lower back, you can lower the legs slightly like I'm demonstrating here. It doesn't have to lift to the height of the hip if that feels uncomfortable. So you should feel nice and strong in the core and in the back. If that's not what you're feeling, come down a little lower or support with the toes touching down to the floor. A wonderful activation throughout the whole body. And then sweeping back in. So we're going to finish off here by folding the body down. We're going to almost sweep the floor with our hands here. So we want the feet to be apart. Fingers are really soft. They're draping down to the floor, but then we're going to gracefully sweep them from side to side, staying nice and loose yet heavy through the upper body. So gravity really is our friend here. A few bends through the knees. So we're bending and stretching, exploring how the backs of the legs feel. If there's tightness or tension present there, you want to keep that little bend through the knee as you hold into the fold. But otherwise, feel free to just extend the legs here and enjoy that stretch. Aligning the hips to the heels here. Arms can be a little wider apart. And when you have had enough, rolling your way up, rolling back through the shoulders. You made it. Namaste, guys. Thank you so much for joining me here on the mat in the space that you're in. Have a fabulous rest of your day.